zone to get to BWL.
Oh yeah,
True.
I forgot about the
'Cause
Hearthstone
then
mechanic.
someone might will just die.
Do I need
Yeah.
fire res gear as 15?
I don't. It's an Ompi question.
Bring all
No,
your fire
you don't.
gear
I
every
think
single
all
person.
5 tanks should have a little bit, and the cloak 100p.
All right.
So we're
So
just
for
tanking
the
for
next,
melee
DP for melee
It's just-
DPS.
Are you hand washing? No.
Now, I'm fully aware that there are tons of people that are honestly just as qualified as Zombie to lead this class discussion. All right, there are.
I did
but
the
Zombie is
laundry.
also qualified.
I fed the dog. I fed the cats.
All right,
You fuckers.
All right.
you've been listening. You are to teach us BWL hardcore for the next hour.
I was voice activity, by the way.
Okay, or shorter, but hour and a half is as long as I have, and then I gotta go. So an hour and a half. I thought we would watch your Frontier raid, your first one, and you would walk us through your decisions, why you do what you do, and things like that. But if you have a better method, floor is yours, Zombie.
Oh, okay. Good morning, class. Today we're going to be reviewing BWL. Let me pull that up.
All right, share your screen.
Yeah, hold on. Next time, raise your hand, buddy.
I'm raising my hand, Ompi, sir. Are we on
Yes.
booting?
No.
Okay, thank you.
I wanted your thoughts on this, Ompi, while you're doing
It's
all
going-
that. What should we be spending our fiery and lava cores on? Just fire res gear, I assume. Just for
Yeah.
gas?
Oh, yeah. And before I forget, we have 51 cloaks now.
51.
Yeah, we should use all of them. Like 25 on each raid.
Okay.
It makes Nev way easier. But if you're worried about wiping, you could put like 10 on each raid and then have the rest of the cloaks like right outside once they get to Nev. That's probably the best way to do it.
Well, I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about the fact that once we dish out these cloaks.
Oh yeah, these fuckers aren't coming back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, not that. Like, when it comes to drafting, think about the next week's draft. Now we have to bring the people that have the cloaks. And that feels shitty for the people that don't have it and didn't get picked.
Yeah, it is kind of ass.
So that's why I didn't necessarily want to use all of them.
Okay. I mean, 20 on each
So maybe-
raid is fine, but they should go to the sweats, like the try-hard pumpers in the raid.
Okay.
Because Neff is hard
All right.
with 20 cloaks.
I mean, we're going to keep doing Onyxia. Yeah, of course. We'll keep farming these scales. We're not doing Onyxia this week, but the next week we'll keep farming more. But you see the issue with like, hey, we have to bring these people who have cloaks now. But yeah, I'll delegate. We'll pick people. But yeah, let's walk through it. Everyone open up Ompi's stream.
Yes, sir.
Discord stream.
There's actually... This is fine. Yeah.
I'm still gonna go in blind, so I'm gonna dip out here.
Yeah, sure. If you want to go in blind, you're welcome to. But this is for me and Savix mainly, since we're raid leading. We can't go in blind. We have to explain stuff, obviously. If we all go in blind, at that point, it's sure chat can say it's content, but we might as well jump off a cliff.
Yeah, what the fuck happened? Don't go in blind. Go let someone.
I want. This is my first time
time.
ever experiencing BWL.
No. That's the thing. You don't. All the fights will be explained by
Awesome.
Savix and myself. We have to know what's going on. You are welcome to be here if you want, but you do not need to be here. Savix and myself do though, because we have to explain this and delegate and raid lead the best we can. So
Heck yeah,
everyone else,
thanks.
you're welcome to leave. Thanks for coming. GG. See you guys on raid. Otherwise, Ompi, go ahead. Sorry.
Next time, raise your hands. Okay?
Sorry.
If you don't, you guys are spending the time, there's the rest of the class in the corner, looking at the corner, out of the stream. Okay? So this is BWL, Black Wing Lair, as many of you guys know. Located in the Black Rock Mountain, near the upper Black Rock Spire. To enter, you need to be attuned. So step number 1 in this class, make sure your entire raid is attuned. At least 5 minutes before. So that means raid starts at 1 p.m. EST. Make sure by checking, say everybody zone in, 12:55. If they can't zone in, replace their ass. They should have been attuned. And take away their
Do you have
cloak.
anyone?
Yep.
Did you have anyone you
we
had to
did.
replace in yours?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, we had 3 deaths, right? It was an MC into BWL, so we had 3 deaths. It was really bad. The wind force.
Damn.
Group 4 is going L spawn. 5 is going north. This guy's way too serious. I don't know. The first boss in here Group 6 is pretty easy. As long as you have one dude who knows what's going on with the eggs. So Soda Savix, I'd recommend either you guys learn it or put somebody you trust with your life on the eggs. Even if you don't know what it is, if you don't want to learn it, you do need somebody that knows it. Going west. I think I actually do it in this boss.
You do.
You didn't say group A. You just.
So yeah, super easy. I mean, you can literally click it.
On top because you lost healers, right?
So
You
what is
spam
the
this
goal?
button. You're supposed to destroy all the eggs. The boss transitions to a killable boss. That's phase 1, I guess.
Okay, how do you destroy the eggs?
You press the button. It's a claw. It's hard to see. It looks like Wicked Claw. I had to like change my action bars because my UI was fucked up. It was like
So you
on
just
my
walk up to
number
the
2.
eggs and you just click Wicked Claw.
Yeah,
while,
pretty
like,
much.
controlling the boss through the orb.
Yeah, and if you're controlling the orb, you might double click. That can happen. If you double click, it'll instantly cancel. So you need to be like, if you're going to do the orbs, whoever's doing it, make sure they know not to be nervous. Just click once. Yeah. So I think Soda's a great candidate for this, actually.
Okay.
Oh.
Make sure not to smoke
but-
weed on that day.
Yeah, and then or do, it's fine. It's not hard. It's really not. You split up the groups. If this is the
here we
boss
go.
room, yep, it's
Now
a
we're
lecture.
relating.
So we've got the front here and the 4 corners. This is where mobs come from. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And there's ramps here on both sides. I think the simplest way to do this is to have your grade split up, your healers positioned up here. These are your pluses. Your healers are up like on the edge, like maybe standing on the orb. And then have 20 people, or like, you know, holy shit. Have like 15 people on each side. You know, two tanks on each side. Then you split the DPS evenly. The casters can play like down here, maybe like interrupt. Basically, you're splitting the raid north and south.
So the ads come from the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yep.
And your goal is to funnel all of them to the stairway where the healers are up top.
So actually, the mobs behave interestingly. They either go to they go to what's closest all the time, and then they become active. So they either run to the boss or to the orb, and then they choose aggro. So you want to make sure the tanks know that, and they're like generating threat while the mobs are running up so that they come back to them. Otherwise, they're going to hit healers up here.
Are they ranged?
Sometimes. The mages aren't a big issue. You just kill them. I'll just play it now.
Okay.
I'm going to mute the sound though, because there's
No,
nothing
that's fine. Mute it.
So yeah, it starts off, it's really slow. I mean, there's literally like a minute of downtime where you're just destroying eggs at the beginning, and then the ads start ramping up. So I'll just speed it up here.
You can also just arrow key it, because you just walk around and just click eggs.
Yeah, well, I just wanted you to see the ads coming out at the beginning. It's super easy. We did a 4-corner strat, but I think you should do the 2 sides. It's easier. It consolidates your raid.
Okay.
Just gonna skip forward. So there's 2 types of ads that are, important. The dragon spawns and then the mages. Who's doing that?
I hear W.
Yep.
Okay.
Who's chewing? What are you doing?
I think that was Vezipu teacher.
Let Let me note that down.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, destroying eggs. You want to save this egg ideally. This front egg. This is your prized possession right here. This is your last egg. You want to do that for positioning reasons. It's nice to tank it right there because you're gonna.
So once you destroy the final egg, that's when he goes.
Yeah,
phase two?
that's exactly. So you want to save a good egg for transition as the egg bearer.
Got it.
But yeah, nothing. I mean, it's a little scuffed quality here. It does not.
So this boss is a fucking joke, unless phase 2 is hard.
Honestly, don't underestimate Razor Gore. Like, you want to unboon for this. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I was thinking about not unbooning. All right.
no, I think that you will want to unboon, especially the first time. It can, like, if you're not doing min-max eggs, it can go like a little bit longer and you get more ads and...
Okay, so unboon this shit.
Yeah.
I'm only afraid, like, if we unboon early, we'll probably run out by the time we get to the end, right? Because we're explaining everything.
Yeah, that is a problem.
That's
We're not
what I'm
speedrunning.
terrified about.
Well, I have some bad news. That sucks. You either go faster or you don't have buffs.
When you clear suppression room, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. And you kill that shit. Does suppression room, like, does it ever?
It doesn't.
reset? Like,
No. Once you kill a boss, it disables the suppression room. You just have to clear it once to get back.
Okay, so we could clear that and then
The
go
traps
rebuff
aren't
and
active.
get back.
Yeah. That's a great question, Mr. Sodapoppin.
Thank you. All right, skip
He was
forward to phase 2.
homeschooled.
Yeah.
Get the arrow keys.
What was that?
Sorry.
Do I have to see you after class?
No, I'm kidding. You're doing great.
Monka?
Great. These students, man.
Yeah.
Now I'm bugged.
This is some internet.
Is it your
problems.
fault, Poppins?
I know, my fault.
It's because I have too many windows open. My bad.
I
Or
think you
didn't
should
you
mention
just
that
get on your
part,
gear?
Professor Umpy. Like,
What's up,
you
Savix?
see how he moved away the boss from the team
Mm.
and he unclicked? Yeah.
Yes, that's actually really important as the egg bearer. You do want to give some space, some leeway, so that you don't feel panicked. You can click it once and then you can go back. So I always, when I see like 10 seconds left on the channel, I finish my last egg, I run it back away towards the other ramp, and then I drop it and repick it up.
How do you drop it?
I right click my frame, right click them and dismiss them. Or you can let it run out. Yeah.
Pay attention, Poppins.
My bad.
Yeah. So phase 2. But you can see here at the end, we're going to have less DPS than this raid by far. Finish these ads. And we have ads up at the end still.
Okay, so yeah, we definitely unboon.
Okay. So going into phase 2, whoever is controlling the egg gets giga threat. You can see 450k threat on this guy. So that's why you usually want to have a main tank or an off tank doing this.
Boss tauntable?
No, boss is not tauntable. So you will pretty much not need to do anything. You can just have your shield on the whole time here.
Okay.
I have a question.
What's up?
For that part, do we pop all cooldowns and Death Wish and everything like that at the very end after the moment the tank holds him?
Once, almost as soon as Razor Gore comes out, every melee is going to FAP, pop all their cooldowns, not wreck probably. I don't think we're wrecking this. But
Okay.
but Death Wish, I mean, wreck is up to the individual raids, wherever they want to use it. It can be kind of scary on some fights here because it's very threat sensitive. So FAPs, and then it's like, now this POV is dog. There we go.
Yeah, we get it.
So you're making a triangle here with your melee. Your melee are max range, really far behind them, and you want to separate a tank in the front So when he's going to conflag you, it's going to drop your threat. This guy needs to do everything to get. It's like Onyxia. You're pumping super hard to get second threat. Otherwise, it's going to turn and hit your your melee. So you want a second tank.
Just split the egg. You have 2 tanks do the egg.
No, it's only the last person.
Okay. So threat resets. Got it.
Yeah.
After the thingamajig.
Look at that.
Ugh.
Terrible.
Gross loot.
That's going to be our PV. 1 sec.
Oh, question. Why do you fap on that boss?
He'll
Stunned
stun
you.
you.
Does he have an AoE stun?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So every melee has to fap.
Yep.
I'm back.
Yeah, so when he calls the last egg, just be ready to fap and bang from behind.
Got it.
Yep. I don't know what you asked, but yep. So Veil, this probably isn't that scary. It could be, and a lot of people are afraid of this boss. It shouldn't be scary. As a raid leader, usually you call wait before you go into the room so you can get these goblinos. And this is a pretty threat-sensitive fight. You're going to want to start this pretty much as soon as you're... Well, I guess not in our raids. It doesn't matter. Just kill the goblins, talk about the fight. Soda, are you tanking this?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm assuming Parla will probably be tanking the other group. So, main tank has a very specific, let's say, like, you're going to want to do some crazy shit to help ensure that your raid doesn't pull threat. So,
Iraq?
yes. So,
Okay.
you are, okay, Blood Rage, Death Wish, Recklessness, and Zerker Stance 5 seconds before the boss because you need to use your GCDs. Your Death Wish, and then into Recklessness. You could opt to Shield Wall, but are you afraid or are you pumping?
No, I can pump. So I just pop Wreck, pop Death Wish, go defensive, pop a Mighty Rage Potion, and just fucking clobber this guy.
Right, but you need to make sure that you're doing it right because you have to be Z stance with Blood Rage, Death Wish, Recklessness, and then you go defensive stance, pop a Rage Pot, and then you pump. That's your opener. Yeah, shouldn't be that bad.
Do I want to get half of Recklessness or the full thing? Probably just half, right?
What do you mean?
Well, do I want the full, like, does this boss hit hard or do I want full Wreck? Like, do I just want Recklessness for the first few attacks?
No, you want Wreck.
Do I want the
No, you want Wreck.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, you can last stand too. You just open with everything. You just literally send everything at it. You see the combat timer, 5 seconds, you're blood raging, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, your Death Wish, Recklessness, swaps D-stance, Mighty Rage Pot, and then you can last stand as soon as she hits you. That's a pretty good idea to cover your lack of defenses at the beginning.
Got it. Okay.
So this boss, very simple, does frontal breath, conal tail swipe. So you have to face her towards the chair. Usually that's how people do it. You can do the other way, but whatever your raid wants to do. Very, very important. You split your raid so that melee are on the opposite side of the boss and no pets are in between. If you're going to use a pet as a hunter, it should be parked way in the back over here, like where Peter's pet is. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Why?
Because they can chain cleave. This boss does a gnarly cleave, like 3k, 4k damage cleave, and it chains off of the tank. So imagine if I take this.
Oh shit, new tech?
If I take this screenshot, you don't want anybody in this circle. If anybody is right here, it's going to make a new circle. And then all of these guys are going to take 4k damage. And that can happen to your raid. If anybody's right here, it can chain and then it chains to here. And it can one-shot your healers pretty much. So that's the risk with this. Very, very important. So you want very clear stacks.
This pet, I don't trust Star.
Yeah, you can. It's going to be super low DPS. The pets are not going to be very big. It's going to be like 100 DPS. But
Don't be a coward, Savix. Let the hunters control their pet. They can handle it.
All right. I'm gonna tell them if you're not confident, put it away. If you're confident, you can have it out.
but it's the same thing. It's the same thing for melee. Like you don't want anything. Somebody's saying totems too. I don't fucking know. I'm not a shaman enjoyer. Basically nothing nothing near the tank.
Wait, totem could get cleaved off of?
I don't know.
Shit.
I have no idea.
All right.
As unfact checked
that in mind.
chat comment.
I think it can.
So that's it. That's the boss. Plus, every 30 seconds or so, he's going to choose one target and the main tank, the current main target, to die. So it's going to give you a buff, burning adrenaline or something. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah,
But
burning adrenaline.
yeah, it makes all of your casts instant and kills you after 20 seconds. It's just the mechanic. So in the way you get around it in hardcore is either you have a pre-portal or you Hearthstone. Because your Hearthstone is instant cast, all your spells are instant cast, you can get around it. You just right click your Hearthstone at the end of it and it'll save you. Now I'd say like maybe you spend like 10 seconds with the buff and then Hearth. It's very important everybody puts their Hearth in Kargath, so we don't have to zone out, summon somebody from like Cenarian hold. It's make sure people have their Hearth in Kargath here.
Yeah.
And before you pull this boss, do a check. I hope you guys are taking notes here. This is going to be on the test.
Okay.
Make sure that when you're checking for your buffs and everything on this boss, you do a ready check. You have every single person look at their bags and hover their Hearthstone to make sure it's off cooldown. It cannot be on
lots of
cooldown.
people die because their heart's on cooldown. They don't know what happened, and then the mechanic just one shots them.
Yep, very important.
There's another mechanic you're forgetting. Doesn't everyone get a buff that just like they get infinite energy and rage gen or something?
Yeah, but what do you want me to say about that?
I mean, it's just one of those things. Rogues and that's why it's.
Are you being a smartass in my class right now?
You're right. My bad. Sorry, sir.
But yes, there is a mechanic that gives you infinite rage, infinite mana, infinite energy, infinite focus. Yeah, that happens. Healers can be max ranking all the time, never cancel a cast. But that means that DPS need to watch their threat because you're going to be able to pump way harder than you normally used to. On this fight, casters should be using Fire Protection Potion to help reduce pushback. Melee should not use any potion CD. This is very important. You need to like drill this into your melee brains. No Mighty Rage. Only limited invuln pot if they're about to pull aggro. And make sure that they wait like at least a second or two while you're generating threat at the beginning. That should give you a good head start. Do you have a flask set, Soda?
No.
Okay.
Ish, but we don't. The flask's it's not even in the game yet, is it?
It is now. It came out today.
Oh.
So you should
have a couple pieces.
at the very least, you should get your flask because it'll make your threat way better. 75 strength is OP. But if you don't have a flask set, don't worry about it. It's not a huge deal.
I think I do actually have some healing pieces. Actually, I do.
It would be a good threat. It's a really good threat.
I'll work on that.
That's the whole boss. You can't taunt it.
So everyone's going to be generating just an insane amount of more threat, and it's the tank's job to still somehow hold that off of them, and it's a race.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, if our DPS is low, we may see a tank transition. That might happen.
Oh gosh.
Fuck.
And a tank transition happens because around a minute into the fight, the main tank is scheduled to die. There's nothing you can do about it. You get the burning adrenaline and your HP gets reduced over time until you get one shot. So if the fight is looking a little long, you need to call stop DPS if your second tank is not second threat. Basically, what you're trying to do is if this boss goes long, you full commit to swapping tanks for another phase. Once you have a tank swap, you have another 45 seconds to kill it, so you don't need to pump the whole time.
Okay.
Basically, you're just trying to make sure that the transition is safe and your main tank doesn't die. So
Could any warrior tank it really?
no. Well, no, I don't think so. They would need wall.
Okay.
If they're tankier, it's fine. Maybe with a shield, but I wouldn't trust random warriors with this because they'd have to turn it preemptively, and then basically you need to make sure somebody's assigned to this on second threat. Like I can do DPS and I can do it. It's fine in this raid, but Sodapoppin can do it. And the other raid probably. It shouldn't be that hard. I would not give this job to Mary. Basically, if you're here and the tank hearths out, if you're in the wrong position, you will wipe the raid.
Okay.
So before you hearth out, the tank needs to pre-position in the front, shield on, shield block, last stand, and then you hearthstone.
Okay.
But they need to be second threat. If they're not second threat, it's just gonna turn to melee and kill everybody
at that point.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna go to the trash. I'm not gonna skip ahead. I'm gonna watch the boss, and you guys can see what's going on here. Look at the damage profile and everything. The main tank does get chunked with fire breaths, so healers maybe look for large heals, specifically after spikes or maybe pre-shields on dips. You can see the fire breath gets cast. It's under my frames, but
Look at the rogue's energy.
yeah, rogues pump with the daggers here. Yeah, you can see like the threat is pretty fine. Like if you wreck, you death wish, you pop your rage pot, you do everything, you shouldn't have any threat issues. Now this is Alliance, so we have salve, but
Oh my god, I forgot. Y'all have salve. Oh my god,
Jesus,
that
you guys
helmet.
kill it
Also-
so fast.
also, you have debuff when the boss is dead, so don't celebrate right away. Make sure you keep getting healed, and don't run because it lasts forever. It lasts like 30 seconds. So you'll have a debuff that'll take for like 4k every 2 seconds. So you don't want to move. You're just staying there and you call keep heals.
I have a question, Professor Umpy.
Yep.
Before we go into the Veil, there's like goblins running around in there, right? Is
Yep.
there like a pull order or like a kill?
Oh,
order
it's super easy.
whatever?
There's 4 goblins, 4 goblinos, and they're scripted to run away from you. They're afraid.
Okay.
You stone shielded here? Yeah, I stone shielded because
They're
Just
running,
farm them
just
for
kill
rage?
them.
I don't know. I'm a dummy. Yeah, you should farm them for rage, but if you can't, it's not a big deal.
Okay. So they don't actually attack, they just run around and
No, they do attack. They're the same technicians. There's only 4 of them. Usually there's like 12 in a pack or like 10.
Okay.
Okay.
And that it's not that scary. But you can see, I guess you can look at them and be like, oh, that's how it works. They throw dynamite.
Got it.
Sorry.
I have a question, Professor. For the last part you mentioned about like after killing the boss, do you eat like food just to help out the healers and stuff like that, or like mage food and all that crap? I know it ticks like crazy after the boss for Veil.
Oh, sorry. I had to get up for 1 second. Was there any questions?
Yeah, the question was like after the Veil, I know it ticks still like with that fire or whatever, and I know healers continue healing. Do we have like a set of food from mages just to eat right after that? Or
Oh, it'll be fine.
okay, never mind that.
You just heal it. It'll be over in like 10 seconds. These packs are very sketchy, okay? Very, very sketchy.
That's not what I want to hear, but okay.
So there's 3 main mobs that you're worried about. Seethers, Captains, and Wormkin. Okay? It can spawn up to 2 of any except for captain. So it could be like, it's any random combination, 1 captain, and then it's 1 to 2 of everything else. If you get a 1 Seether, or 1 Wormkin, you just sleep it. You're sleeping both Wormkins. The scary part is when you get, we have double Wormkin here. I'm getting ahead of myself. You pull it back every single time. You're going to pull this pack back, and you can see the druid sleeping. The druids that are sleeping are positioned here. They're pre-positioned so that they can sleep the Wormkin as it comes in, but before it hits the raid. So the raid is back here on the left. Graze is should be over there, but that's where the druids are.
So Grace is griefing.
A little bit, not a big deal. A little bit. These Seethers need to be trank shotted. They do enrage and they hit really fucking hard when they enrage. And you need to split. You need to assign healers here because it gets pretty chaotic, and there's going to be 4 or 5 tanks sometimes. So from here on out, you need to have either a spreadsheet telling people what to do, or at least 1 healer on every tank, predetermined all the time. There's too much going on that you can't have people randomly heal.
Have a healer on each tank all the time?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So you can see here that we're splitting the mobs. We have a Wormkin come in. The sleep was late, but the captain also dispels sleep. So you want to make sure that the captain gets pulled away. When we're doing it, we actually hunter kite the captain for like 15 seconds to the position, and then the tank picks it up. So the tank just now connected with the captain there. So you can do the same position for both poles. You can just pull it back. Captain always goes to this side. See their flame scales to the other side. Wormkin sleep in the middle. That'll make it pretty easy and consistent for people. And druids are spamming sleep. That's all they're doing on this. They're literally sleep, 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 sleep.
It's not like poly. It doesn't heal them, so just spam.
Right.
There's no reason to.
Right. Yeah, even when you're killing them, you're using it to like interrupt their cast and stuff. And you can coil them too when you're killing them. You could call for it, or warlocks can just do it. If warlocks are here, coil the Wormkin when you're killing it. It's great.
Okay.
But yeah, these mobs just hit hard. Like you can see, Walktimus just got charged off the edge, almost died. Windforce taking big chunks from the captain. I mean, we're pretty geared in this. We're probably more geared than our tanks. So you can expect similar amounts of damage.
You also have a CG buff.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we gonna die, Soda?
It is possible. I'm specifically worried about the Broodlord suppression room.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I would be surprised if there were 0 deaths. Very surprised in either raid. Like I think it's almost guaranteed that you'll have deaths. We even had 2 deaths in our first BWL.
It was a good journey, friend.
So you can kind of see the process of this pull. Like captain, 3 melee, 2 sleepers. So in this case, you have your druids, same spot. We actually pull it up here, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. Maybe we pull it back.
Okay, so Seether enrages, Captain dispels sleep, and you sleep the Wormkins. Are there any other mobs?
No. Well, there's flame scales, but they just charge. They're pretty easy. You should not kill flame scales unless they're the front target like this. You should always kill Seethers first.
Okay, so you're only killing flame scale because it's the first one out the door. Might as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like by the time X is in, this is dead.
Okay. And you can just have a tank on the flame scales.
Yeah. You should probably, if you're going to prioritize, you should have your 4th and your 5th tank on flame scales. So you're like Fury tanks, and then your main tanks go Seether captain.
Seether priority first into flame scale, into captain, into Wormkin.
Mm-hmm. Obviously make a judgment call. If a sleep is in the raid and it's just in the raid, you kill it first. Like a wormkin, I mean.
Okay.
If your druids
Can you run
fuck
that one more
up.
time? Flames Eater, and then one more, and then Captain.
Priority is Seether.
Cedar.
Well, you could just do it. Seether, then clean up the rest of your mobs. Like your flame scale, maybe have a wormkin in there.
Okay.
Then you kill the captain and the sleeps.
All right.
Pompey, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
As a hunter, couldn't you kite the captain for a longer duration and not really have a tank on it and just kite it and make
You
it
can.
up the room?
No, you can. Yeah, I think it's risky. The captain isn't that hard to tank. It does maybe like 2k hits every like 2-3 seconds. It's pretty tankable. You just need one healer, one tank on it. They can heal it. Maybe 2 healers max.
I meant more so.
I
to
have
negate the
had
spells as well.
Oh,
like on the
it's
sleeves.
fine because they're really far away. The captain, I've kited it before in my old raids, and I've gone away from that because if you clip a wall, if you go too close to a wall, it can teleport you to the mob.
Oh,
Just
okay.
straight up teleport. I really don't like kiting in this. Now that mobs have TP, they like, if you evade for a quarter, half second, it'll TP you to the mob, and that'll come into play later as hunter pullers. You need to know that. So I think it's better just to tank it.
For sure.
But that is important too. As the puller, when you're pulling, you want to avoid walls. Whatever you can do, avoid walls and never auto run into walls. Or like the little lips, you can just like randomly evade and die. So we don't have Petri.
Techie packs did that. I didn't know the captains actually did that as well. So thank you.
Suppression room. Now, I think we have a lot of rogues, so it's fine. All the rogues' job in this is to drop the traps. That's all they're doing. They're never DPSing. Unless you have like more than 5 rogues, it's super nice to have all the traps down all the time. So going into this suppression room, while you're not under pressure, you're at the front, I like to pull the first 3 wormkin and pre-clear and then drink. And then you commit to the room. So like here, we're still like not really pushing in a lot. We're right at the first trap. We've killed 3 wormkin already. Or maybe a 4th here. You try to clear as much as you can while being safe at the front, drink, and then you send it.
Okay, so you're killing the worm. So suppression room. When you get hit by the suppression, how fucked are you? Like these little traps. Just explain what's going on.
When you are probably within 15 yards of any of these active traps,
the ones that are not
the up ones, yeah. You will get a debuff that makes your cast speed 4 times as long and your attacks 4 times as slow. So like your auto speed will be a 8-second swing timer. That's how bad it is with the dagger.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean it'll be a little faster.
And only rogues can disarm trap, right?
Yeah, only rogues,
walk up
and
to stealth.
They have to be in stealth, otherwise they proc the thing. You can't. I think you can drop it while you're out of stealth, but you have to get to the trap, which is why stealth is nice. It doesn't proc while you're stealthed.
Got it. Okay.
So, rogues are stealthed, and this is a little paint explanation because this is also important for hunters. If this is your suppression room, and this is your rogue right here, and he's about to drop a trap, right? He's going right here, and he's going to drop a trap. Now, as a hunter or a tank, when you're pulling, you can't pull a mob that's right here because what's going to happen? This mob is going to run right over the rogue, and the mobs actually have a pulsing AoE around them like this, and it'll pull them out of stealth. And then this guy is going to aggro all of these whelps. So you're going to get really chaotic situations, and it can be super bad later on because you can actually pull the boss doing this, and that'll wipe you. So when you're pulling, I like to stay, as a rule of thumb, I stay on the right wall with my raid, and you pull from the left. So if that means a mob is right here, you're gonna wait for it to finish its patrol and run over here again, because it's like Frogger. All of these hatchers, all these wormkins and everything, they're going left to right, like this.
Okay.
So you wait for a good position. Now sometimes there's exceptions to the rule, like maybe your rogue is in the middle because he's dropping an early trap for you. So you're working around your rogues. You can throw target markers on them. That can help you as a puller or a tank or raid leader. Maybe mark like 4 rogues or something that play in the front.
Can you go over the kill order of these mobs?
Always wormkin. If you have a wormkin in your raid, it needs to be 100% fully focused. Always. And then taskmasters and then whelps. Whelps are kind of dog shit, I'm going to be honest. Unless you have like 100 whelps, they're not going to kill anybody. Because it's going to split to different healers and now you should have like try to like AoE them as a mage, but you know, melee are never cleaving whelps as a priority.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
So yeah, you can see in this picture, I'm pulling from the left, the middle, and my rogue is up here in the front. So there's 2 rogues up there and they're safe. That's kind of what you want to do, is you have rogues in the front preparing your path forward. You also want to make sure you have rogues in the back and on top of the raid, because these traps randomly respawn, and you need to have somebody there to deal with it ASAP. So we have a rogue.
How often do the traps pulse?
Oh, pulse like every 5 seconds. So once it pops up,
go back up.
It will pulse you once. I think there's nothing you can do about it. But you want to avoid the 3rd, 4th. It lasts like 6 seconds or 8 seconds or something.
And you didn't mention the hatchers in kill order.
Hatchers are first prio.
Oh, okay. So, the worm guys.
Yeah, sorry, I misspoke. It's a hatcher.
Got it.
So yeah, you can see in this raid, I have 2 rogues on the raid, BN and LMGD. This guy is focusing on traps in the raid. This guy's focusing on traps in the raid. And then we have people making sure our exit is clear a little bit so we can back up if we need to. So that's the play. That's why I like having 3 rogues. 3 rogues at least. You can have 1 in the front, 1 in the raid, 1 in the back.
Okay.
How many rogues do you guys have?
Let's look.
I have 5.
Perfect.
Okay, I have 4 and
Right. That's good.
Savix has 6.
Just wanted to make sure. Okay.
You're fucked, Soda. You have Quinn.
4 is okay. We had 6 in this and it was cozy. There are taskmasters in this room. Just make sure you throw marks on them as soon as you can so the off tanks know what to pick up. It's going to be pretty chaotic. So.
Okay.
Yeah. The taskmasters have weird patrols. Instead of going left to right, they do like this. They kind of like patrol like up and down and side to side on the areas. I don't really know their exact patrols, but
you can still pull them from, like, eventually they end up in the spot you want.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's the entire suppression room. There's specific spots along the area. This corner right here is a nice location to break for mana. There's also up here. This is the second part of suppression room. This corner is nice right here. There's pretty much like a couple of cubbies that you can break, and then basically you're just doing this same thing, rinse and repeat all the way up. You go around this pillar and you're waiting right here. There is a couple pillars. The last one I think you can use for like this. Okay. So this is the big boss, Broodlord. We'll make him a little bit. There we go. He's actually hard. He hits very fucking hard. So he has a massive aggro radius. I'm talking like this, right? If you think about LOS, Anywhere from there, he's going to aggro you. So this is all danger zone. You never want anybody here. You will pull the boss early. It's actually a little bit bigger than this. Like it's all the way like out to here.
Goodness.
Yeah, it's huge. It's like 40 yards. So you have to be pretty much ready for the boss. You want to be pulling all the Wormkin back to here. This is your final kill spot right here. Okay. So there's a lot of Wormkin. Basically, you clear the room while you're waiting right here for mana, just like you did up to here. And once everything's clear, you can hug the wall and move up one more, and then you get ready for the boss. There's actually another pillar. This isn't the final one. This is a little off proportion, but this is, you kill the boss here. This is so fucked. Hold on.
We'll see your YouTube video. We'll actually
Yeah, exactly. So, the corner, more Taskmaster. This is a safe spot in this corner. Pretty much, if any healer is you're passing safe spots all the time. They can just sit down and drink. It's not, but you need to make sure that they drop combat.
So why can you not drink anywhere?
You can, but you're perma combat with all the whelps and shit because they're respawning in the back. Whelps have like a 20-30 second respawn time.
Oh.
So you can see we just cleared them, but they're back. So there's spots where like you don't have that many whelps. You can just sit there and clear them and instantly drink. So yeah, this is the final room upstairs. That's Broodlord way back there. So yeah, you have looks like five dragons up here left. 4 dragons.
So all the big elites besides the dragons need to be dead before you pull the boss.
Yes, everything. Yeah, all the big elites. You can deal with whelps. So you can see this first cubby. This first cubby is safe. This is going to be where we kill most of the Wormkin. Double Wormkin is actually very scary. You can deal with it, but you need to stop pulling. So what I was talking about earlier, the Wormkins have an AoE pulse called like Withering Flame or something, and it stacks on the raid. That's how it does damage. It puts a dot on everybody. So if you pull, like, let's say you mispull, you pull a Hatcher, and then it pulls another Hatcher, which pulls another Hatcher. You have 3 Hatchers in your raid, you might wipe. Because those Hatchers will stack up the same debuff really quickly. So if you get above like 8-9 stacks of this debuff, it's very scary for the raid. That's why you should be very careful to only pull 1 at a time. Avoid double pulls when you can, because double pulls can chain a third if you pull like at the wrong time. Yeah, so that's the debuff, by the way. You also move super slow.
Ugh. Okay, let me see this Wormkin or Hatcher. Is that it? The little.
That's a Hatcher, right? So when you have 2 and they're stacked, it's not that bad. But you can see the entire raid is taking it. So look at the raid's HP. It's not bad with 2, but it's because we're killing them really quick. If we were slow and we had a third one, we had 8 stacks, it would be a different story.
Yeah.
1, 2 is okay, but ideally, you don't want to
emergency GFPPs for that, I guess, right?
Maybe.
Just hopefully it doesn't happen.
You shouldn't need to. Pulling 3 is hard. You actually have to try to do that. My fucking god.
Oh, look at this editing of y'all's clear. Look at that.
So.
Ooh.
So this is like the final area. Once you go past this, you should be ready to pull. This cubby right here. So there's 1 cubby, 2 cubbies. So this is the second to last cubby. We are getting ready to pull here. We're getting rage right here. Everybody's ready to pull before you cross this, because it's very easy to pull the boss on accident when you're going up to this next corner.
Okay.
Like, Yeah, like if I was like here, I'd probably pull the boss. That's how close it is. So just keep that in mind. So we're mentally prepared to pull the boss, even if we don't. If we get to the final cubby, great. If we pull it instantly, oh well, we have to commit to it. So you can see what we did here is we used a hunter to max range volley these whelps so that our rogue can sneak up and drop this trap before we start pulling. It makes it super nice, super easy for the raid to move in because you don't get the suppression debuff. If you don't do this, you're going to have 16 seconds of Giga Slow and your healers are going to get blast waved probably.
Okay,
But we
so
need one
that,
brave rogue to take care of that.
Right. So you're dropping traps. You need to assign 2 people. Come on, get a better angle here.
What are the chances of the rogues getting caught?
So pretty low, only if they pull whelps. There's also a trap you can't really see. It's behind the raid frames. You need to have a rogue run with the raid, or you could keep them back here. It's up to you guys. Let's see. So yeah, there's 2 ways you can do it. Either you could have ranged go to this wall, or ranged stay here. This has less whelps on it, but it's more movement at the start. I think that we should probably do this. So drop this trap with a rogue. Somebody needs to be doing that the whole time. Like if this comes back up, they are sprinting to do this from the boss. As soon as it's up, they're running there. Or they could just stay there the whole time. It doesn't matter. You could literally have a cosmetic rogue if you want. It just stands here.
Why is that one so important? It's kind of not...
Well, if your raid is here, so ideally you're putting... in this strategy, this is a little scuffed, but imagine this is the wall. The boss and all the melee are tanked like right here. Okay? So the melee are behind the boss here, and then the healers are back here.
Oh.
And then the mages, right? Like all these guys are like back here.
So you got to clear it for them.
Right. So you want to make sure that this trap is dropped right here, this trap, and this trap here. Or I guess it's like... Right, so you're basically having one person on each of those 2 traps. Those are what you're concerned about.
Okay. I have 40 minutes left, unfortunately.
It's okay. It'll be fast from
Where
here
are
on
you
out.
going, buddy?
This is where all of your tanks will be. They'll be standing in front of the boss, but like a triangle. So like you'll have 1 tank here and then 2 tank here, 2 and 3. So basically you're trying not to get parry hasted.
So no one can be in front of the
but
boss.
with your back to the wall. Right, yeah. You should not be doing that.
Now, what mechanics does the boss have exactly?
He blast waves and he mortally strikes. It's a tank killer. This is a tank killer boss. Okay?
Oh.
So on this boss, you want to be wearing probably like a pretty heavy mitigation set. So you're not wearing leather if you can help it.
Yeah.
You're wearing high stamina and you're using greater stone shield. Mandatory.
Yeah.
Okay?
What about shield?
DPS, we'll get to that. DPS, want to save potion for Lip because he threat drops as well. So he threat drops, he also cleaves, he blast waves, and he mortally strikes. You do not want to be in front of this boss or tanking him as a non-main tank. Ever. You will die instantly. It'll literally turn around after a threat drop and one-shot somebody and then go back to a tank. That's how fast it'll happen. It's like Ragnaros on steroids. So
he'll just get parry hasted as soon as he turns around.
Right. So that's why you're facing it this way, because the boss cleaves. It's okay if it hits the off tanks, but you do not want it hitting the back. Blast wave is unavoidable. All your melee are going to get hit. Just have them stand and run back in. It's okay. They should just be near the wall, so they get knocked into like the gate area.
Is the boss tauntable?
No. Nope. Most of these bosses that threat drop are not tauntable like that.
So basically, when he threat drops, this person's second in threat needs to be another tank.
Right. So you're having 2 or 3 tanks pump. Like all of your off tanks, I'm assuming me and I don't remember who our third tank is. But basically the 2 and 3 are pumping threat, but they're not trying to overtake you. Tank swaps in this fight are fucking sketchy because, like I said, it can turn, right, and one-shot you. It could turn in Mortal Strike for 10k. That's how 10k. It'll Mortal Strike for 6k and auto you for 3.5.
Jesus.
So it can. I have seen it happen to tanks in Nax gear. You know, maybe they don't have a shield on. They just get one shot. So there's a couple things you can do to get around this. When you're going in as a main tank, you should last stand on pull, so you can dual wield. You're basically covering yourself, right? You're last standing so that you feel safe to dual wield. There's also no Mortal Strike for the first like 10 seconds probably. After your last stand is about to fall, or it's been a while since your Mortal Strike, throw on a shield. Just shield, and start shield blocking.
So you're gonna try and preemptively block the shield.
Right. So you're trying to open with dual wield, but there's a point where trying to out threat the threat drop doesn't make sense. Like you'll see. I'll kind of walk us through it.
Yeah.
See, I'm walking in. I have last stand as I walk in. You know, I'm dual wielding. It's fine. First GCD from somebody, it needs to be a demo shout. He always needs to be demo shouted. Super fucking important. You could also opt to not use recklessness on this fight. It's not a bad idea. If demo shout falls, it's way bad. It's really bad. So you could use Curse of Weakness if you're afraid. But you can see our positioning here. The tanks are in front. It doesn't really matter. They're all pretty much going to get parried. This is how you want the boss positioned. You don't want the boss here. You want to like make sure that this is how it is. If you have to reposition it, okay. Tell the melee to back off for a second. So, yeah, you can see at this point, threat is fine. Like at this point,
a bunch of knockbacks too, right?
Right.
But that's why you have in the wall.
Yep. So at this point, I would throw on a shield if it's our raid. You have a huge threat gap over number 2. But if you get halved, you're probably going to get overtaken by the second threat anyways. So you can see Mortal Strike. Look at that damage.
Jeez.
That's with last stand.
Too.
It's with last stand. 35%.
God.
Just the Mortal Strike. That wasn't an auto as well. Blast Wave comes, right? So if it times really poorly, you can get a Mortal Strike, a Blast Wave, and an auto attack. It's up to 10k burst damage. So you need to have over 10k HP. Or have a shield on.
Fuck by this blast.
Yeah, melee get hit really hard. It's a hard boss. So at this point, after the first Mortal Strike, you want to put your shield on. I would say that's probably a good metric. First Mortal Strike equals shield. And then your second tank needs to get like pre-shielded or something. And then as soon as they get threat, they last stand. And they're going to do the same thing that you did as they ran in. Right? So you're basically doing 2 tank phases. Hopefully we don't get a third. If we get a third, it's pretty scary. But yeah.
A third what?
A third tank swap.
Oh, threat drop. Oh, yeah.
Because tank swaps can be pretty gnarly. Because imagine like he turns, all the healers aren't pre-casting, and then he gets Mortally Strike. That's actually what happened to Hellspawn later. He got killed like that. It's pretty terrible.
Damn.
You should show that for a class.
If somebody has a clip, I will. Look, LMG almost just died, by the way.
Yeah.
He got cleaved and then blast waved. Look at that. Look at that HP. He's dead without ZG buff. It's very important people don't get cleaved.
Oh, man.
So people need to be playing really far back. But you can see how quick this goes wrong. If somebody pulls threat and cleaves the raid, half these people die. Yeah. So we actually didn't have a tank swap in that.
Actual good damage.
Yeah. We also got lucky. It's random.
Tank
These are the
swap
text
only
pack.
when you get knocked, right? And you drop threat?
Yeah, tank swap happens randomly. I don't know. It's just an ability called knock away, and you can dodge it, parry it, or like it can miss. So it's random. Sometimes you just don't get tank swaps if you're lucky.
Got it.
This is your first tech pack. All of these techie packs are the same. So this should be pretty quick explanation for the rest of the trash in the instance, mostly. All of these packs are the same, but a little different. So there's always technicians in the techie pulls, and there's always 2 warlocks in the techie pulls. This is an easy pull to kind of warm you up to it. Later on, there will also be a dragon guy and 1 to 2 spellbinders. You guys will need to know this.
Okay, always 2 warlocks. Always how many technicians?
I don't know.
Okay.
A lot of technicians. And then 1 dragonkin. Sometimes, like after this first pack, there's always 1 dragonkin and then 1 to 2 spellbinders.
Okay.
So you need to make sure those are assigned. You have assignments for all techie packs. For those, that means you need 5 tanks plus a mage tank. You can see here, we LOS pull every single techie pack so that we can group them like this. It's pretty important. But that means that people need to be really careful about where the bombs are going. If the mage is late and doesn't get threat, all of these bombs are going to target your nearest healer, probably right here, and throw 10 bombs at them. So while the techies are not stable, people should be really, really careful about where the bombs are going. If they see bombs running at that, like thrown at them, they can actually dodge them if they're fast, or if they're not right next to them. So the way that the technicians work is it throws a bomb, but the damage is calculated where, or the position of the bomb and damage was when it finished its cast, or maybe when it started its cast. I don't remember, but basically you can see our mage tank runs in and the bombs will be behind him. They're just missing. They're literally chain missing. You can see the bomb gets thrown and he's just running around in a circle like that. It's pretty hard to see, actually, but
it's like throwing engineering bombs.
Right.
Like in PvP, only they just throw where you're standing at the time. As long as you move, it won't hit you by the time the channel ends, right?
If those are your techies, your mage is doing this around them, and the bombs keep getting thrown at their old position. So they can't make a too tight circle. If it's too small like this, they die. It's just right. It's usually like 5 yards away from them. So you're still hitting them all. You want to be on this outside, and then you're super safe. That's how you tank techies. Very, very easy, and don't stray from the plan. Always keep the circle. Never stop circling. Never turn around in the circle. And other mages and AoE guys should not be in here. Nobody else is in here. Use Blizzard.
Fuck zone.
Yeah, use Blizzard.
So 1 mage is going around them, Arcane Explosioning to have threat?
Yep. Arcane Exploding, Cone of Cold, everything. And they have Giga Threat, yeah.
Alright, Zico's got this for sure then.
Yeah. So that's the techie pack. That's how it works. I'm gonna try to speed through this because So doesn't have that much time. But that's how you techie pack. Now there's things called Spellbinders and Dragonkin. We talked about those earlier. The Spellbinders are immune to magic. They need to be tanked. Number 1, they need to be kicked. Number 2, and the tank needs to have a healer and a dispeller. Okay, so you put 3 people on each Spellbinder. 1 rogue, 1 warrior or feral, and 1 priest. Okay? There's either 1 or 2, so you might need 6 people for a specific techie pack. The Dragonkin. The Dragonkin needs to be tanked by your 3rd tank away from the raid.
Why do they need to be kicked?
They cast Flame Strike on the raid.
Got it.
The Dragonkin cleave and are very tempting targets for casters, but make sure they finish techies first and then go to this guy. Don't let them parse. They need to be faced away and tanked away. They cleave. So I like doing them, Just figure a place. Basically, face them away, tank them away. Every time. I'm just going to show you guys this pack so you can see how we do it, and then I'm going to skip the rest of the techies for now. You can see we pull the dragon way off over to the left, so he's out of the way. He's like off the screen to the left right now. Spellbinders and warlocks are LOS here. Melee kill them while they're waiting for the techies to die. So we'll just skip forward here. Same thing happens. It's the same exact pull. We're going to do Fire Maw. Now, Fire Maw has two strategies. I think we should use something called the door strat. Basically, this is the Broodlord Gate.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Broodlord. This is his corpse over here. Okay. And then all of your casters are over here. This is going to be your safe spot. The boss, Big Dragon, is tanked right here. Okay. So the way that this works is Fire Maw has a pulsing AoE. So let's imagine that this is his line of sight. It is line of sightable. He will, he will do a nice big AoE, but because of the doorway, you can see it blocks it. So it creates some nice safe zones for us. These are safe zones. Right? So same thing happens over here. Right? Anyways, you get the idea. From here, our healers and our tank positioning will be the main tank in the doorway, and then your off tanks are hiding. They're not getting stacks. So this boss over time does a stacking flame buffet debuff that increases the damage you take by fire damage, which affects the flame buffet. So as you continue to go through the fight, you'll get another stack, and the flame buffet will do 400 damage. You'll get another stack. It'll do 800. It'll do 1200, and it'll keep ramping up until it kills you. So basically, you're hiding. All of the melee and everybody are here too. Everybody is hiding at 8 stacks. That's the number I think is safe. If you have 8 stacks, you are hiding for 30 seconds. You're not peeking. You're closing your eyes, hands off the keyboard, and you are waiting for the 8 to turn to a 0. Off, drop your stacks. Okay? Now, the main tank is pretty awkwardly positioned here for these guys. They can't heal you unless they're taking stacks. So the way we get around it is by putting main tank specific healers or tank healers, not necessarily just main tank, but tank healers up here, healing, right? These guys are healing your tanks. So you want to have four main tank healers here. The rest of your healers are going to heal your raid and your off tanks. That's the fight. That's the positioning. Mechanic wise for tanking, he drops threat and he fire breaths. So another cone. He fire breaths and it kills you if you don't have a cloak. It doesn't do damage, it kills you. So all of your tanks and probably these guys are most at risk. So you want to give 7 cloaks out here, 4 to healers and 3 to your tanks. Maybe to 5 tanks, maybe you give out the 9. It's easy strat. It sounds a lot harder than it is, but once you see it, it'll be like, oh, that's actually not that bad. This is just all the moving pieces. The off tanks.
You said there was a threat drop?
Yep, I'm getting to that right now. So the off tanks are standing here. This is off tank 1 and off tank 2. Okay, so there's a threat drop roughly like every 20 seconds, let's say. 20-second threat drop. And it'll half your threat. And the way that you get around this while maintaining a safe position is you have a taunt spot right here. There's a nice little cubby where you can stand right here. You're in LOS of both healers. Right? And you're going to face the boss temporarily this way into the wall until it threat drops you. So you're going to have a little timer on your screen for threat drop. I think it's called wing buffet. Every about 20 seconds. I don't know the exact time. At 15 seconds, you want them to taunt. That gives you 5 seconds leeway for another person to taunt or something else to happen. So that means you need to call out as a raid leader at 12 seconds. This means I'm doing this the wrong way.
I still understand what you're saying though.
5 seconds until the timer is your taunt. That means 8 seconds before it goes off, you're calling for the taunt, right? So you're saying 8 seconds on your wing buffet timer. You're gonna have to do this a lot, maybe 2 or 3 times in the fight. 8 seconds. What do? You say OT1. Run in and taunt. If they're late, okay. Yeah, sorry, my marker was a little dry. I had to get a new one. So fine. You call in at 8 seconds, OT1. You could even say off tanks in. You don't even have 1 and 2.
And so they taunt. Now the boss is facing a different direction. Now what?
Right. So you say off tanks 1 and 2 run in, and then you say OT is 5 seconds. You say taunt. Does it land? This is your decision matrix. Does off tank 1's taunt land? No. Okay. Off tank 2 taunt. Does it land? No. Okay. We'll panic. Do something. Okay. And both of these guys start doing mocking blow, AoE taunt, anything. Right. You need to not drop threat on the main tank.
Okay.
But it should almost never happen. This is very, very, very rare for both taunts to resist like that.
So I'm confused why the off tanks come in and they taunt, and then they're just trying to eat the wing buffet.
Yep. Their sole purpose in this fight is to eat the wing buffet and then go hide again. That's it.
Got it. Okay.
Now, if this fight goes really long, the main tank should be in full fire res gear, by the way. If this fight goes really long, you might go over 20 stacks on the main tank. That's really fucking scary. Let's say 15. Let's say like 15 stacks. Over like 15 stacks on the MT, you need to swap main tanks now. So this is where it gets a little muddy. Ideally, you resist enough stacks that you never get to this point before the boss dies. That's likely to happen. If you get unlucky, you might need a tank swap, and all you're gonna do is say, whoever your off tank 1 is, you say, I need a tank swap, and then you are gonna become off tank 1, and they're gonna become the main tank. And you need to call that out as well. So there's a lot of just tank swapping on this.
Okay.
That's pretty much the entire fight. Once the boss does a wing buffet, that's it. So there's a 20-second loop in this fight that you just do until it dies. With obviously this thing is your like timer. You might have to swap.
Most everyone else is just 8 stacks, AFK 30 seconds. 8 stacks,
Right.
AFK 30 seconds.
Exactly.
Okay.
They don't have to think about anything. Just don't pull threat.
Now, the 4 healers that are healing the tank should not be getting any stacks.
Nope, they shouldn't. And if they do, they can just hide for a second and keep healing you. Like let's say something goes wrong and they have to move in because you have to reposition the boss. This is something that is likely to happen, actually. Let's say Big Fireman is actually, right? Let's say Big Fireman is actually right here. What do? Well, that means you're right here, so you're fucking the main tank healers. So what they need to do, what you need to do really quickly is like do like a little repositioning work, right? The same thing, if the boss is over here, You need to be repositioning this shit. And when you're repositioning, you're calling no DPS, nobody in line of sight with like, don't get breathed. Your goal is to get him right in the middle. There's a juicy spot. It's pretty easy to get to once you learn it. It might be hard your first time.
Wear fire res gear or like should be like
Giga fire res. No, Giga fire res.
Giga fire res. So Ragnaros.
Yeah.
Got it.
I have a question about the.
We're gonna watch the fight while we do questions.
Okay, sure.
What's up? No, yeah, dude.
I was gonna say. Wait, are we gonna watch first?
Yeah, watch and question. It's okay.
Okay. You know how the tanks are coming in to take the buffet and leave? You said that's on like a 20-second timer?
Yeah, like maybe it's a little longer, but yeah, it's like approximately like a 20-second loop. So you can see my wing buffet timer.
Let us know, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
you can see my wing buffet timer is out. I've called for taunt. I've called for tank in. Wind force comes in. Hellspawn comes in. I call for taunt. Wind force gets it. It lands. If it didn't, Hellspawn, I'd call for taunt. Now this happens right now. We are wing buffet 3 seconds. I stop everything. I hit escape. I'm not pressing anything. I'm waiting for threat to drop. I'm just auto attacking.
Got it.
Because I don't want to pull threat. So what's happening right now is you are standing in a position. You're waiting. You're not moving. It's going to knock him back into the wall. His threat gets dropped, and then you can position again. Now the threat drop.
Taunt right after.
No, you don't even need to taunt. You're just you don't even threat drop.
You're right.
So, the AOE, there's an AOE threat drop here, basically. It's around the target like a cleave. So that's why you have to separate from the off tank. Otherwise, you get knocked and threat dropped as well. That's worst case scenario. If that happened here, it turns on the melee and instantly breathes. That's a wipe.
Goodness.
So you need to make sure the main tank is not getting threat dropped. Also, very bad things can happen when you use AoE taunts or mocking blows on all of these dragons. This goes for every single tauntable dragon in here. When you AoE taunt and you get knocked back, you will continue to have taunt on it, but your threat will be 0. So what's going to happen is it'll run, let's say Windforce AoE taunted, and he didn't do anything, he hid instantly.
The boss is going to follow.
It follows him. It follows him.
Oh.
And then it drops and runs back. And if it breathes while it's running back, it hits everyone, right?
It's a one-shot mechanic, so they don't have cloaks, so they actually just insta-die.
Yep, that kills 25 people if that happens. So if you're using AoE taunt or mocking blow, they need to stay in until it's over. All the time, in their tank position.
Okay.
So that's really important. People need to know that. That's it. That's the boss. Now, Firemaw. What's up?
What about the Thresh?
What about the Thrash? It's okay.
That all 3 Drakes do on pull.
Yeah, but it's not a big deal because you're not kiting it. You should have shield on in the opener. You can last stand it. But
yeah, but I mean, all the dragons are moving slightly when you pull them. They can have a Thresh deck already. I've seen it happen.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's not that scary though if you have shield on. You should definitely, when you're positioning this boss at the beginning, you should have shield. And you should do no DPS because you're moving a lot too.
I hope everyone
and Stone
listening
Shield.
has only done MC and is now looking at, like I told you, BWL is a massive step forward in difficulty. It's not hard. I feel like once we do it, we'll see. It's not too bad, assuming we do it right, but it is
definitely
a step up.
Yeah, I can see that. The tanks are like surgeons. They better place this properly or we're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see actually, Soda, my stacks dropped. I was only at 2 stacks here.
So
if you're in full fire res, like you can just resist the whole thing and never tank swap.
Everyone's threat should be low because they have to like leave.
Right, yeah.
For 30 seconds. Okay.
So yeah. That's the boss. More techie packs. Oh yeah. We'll go through this pack real quick.
Man, I'm afraid of the tech packs.
You should be.
So these big guys, fuck. These big dragons, this is a pack of 4. I'll go back so we can see it.
Gosh.
The end of this room, there's a 4-pack of dragons. 3 little guys. These little guys don't do much. You can stand them, stack them, and cleave them. The big guy should be treated like a molten destroyer. It's permanently away from the raid, permanently away from other big dragons. You never stack these things. They have war stomps. They have random abilities. They could sleep the tank. This is actually one that does a threat drop on the tank and a CC on the tank at the same time. So this is where it gets wild. On these packs, you always have your off tanks that are not tanking anything ready. You can see Graze for Days is playing goalie here. You always have a goalie on these packs. Super important. But that's pretty much all you guys need to know about these. You separate the worm guards, you have a tank on each, and then you have goalies. Casters,
Tauntable?
they are tauntable, yeah, but sometimes it's not easy. These mobs have like random vulnerabilities to magic. You can see this is probably, I don't know what it is. It's probably like arcane or something. Random school of magic, they're really vulnerable. They take like 5x damage from, so threat can get pretty dicey on these pretty quick.
It's like a warlock shadow or shadow bolting, a shadow vulnerable one would be like a 10k shadow bolt.
Right. So yeah, you do 10k threat instantly. It's on the. It's now in the raid and it stomps the raid. Uh-oh, now your warlock died.
And that's why you need goalies.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have said that.
Okay. So same tech pack idea, right? You pull it back. Now you can see we are using frost traps here. This is pretty good. This is a good idea to do. When you're pulling a tech pack, you want a frost trap to proc that they run through so that it splits them from the other mobs. That like delays the techies from coming in. It lets the mage get a nice opener without worrying about the warlocks and the dragonkin getting AoE'd and them getting one-tapped. So you want to pull back through frost traps like this, LOS. And if you want to look at like where, like later, you can come back to this and watch how we do them. If you do exactly what we do, you'll replicate it easily. Now, one thing I didn't cover, which you're not going to see here, you need to have a dispeller on the mage always. So you have a priest permanently on the mage and the hunter pullers so that they get dispelled if they get polymorphed. Because if they get polymorphed, they die. That's simple. It just kills them. So that actually happened with some people. I think we actually did have a polymorph death here. Yeah, so you can see our hunter puller pulled the pack back for us. He gets polymorphed right here, and then he gets bombed. Boom, 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 boom. That's why you need a dispel.
Oh.
Couldn't do anything about it. He just died.
Okay.
So yeah. Same thing. These packs are a little annoying. You can use the same exact place to do all of these tech packs right here. That's what we do.
Let's go to the next part because we got 10 minutes. I'm fucked. Sorry.
That's okay. Honestly, this last part is pretty easy. We'll just do a quick rundown of them. You could also just watch the VOD possibly.
I am going to watch the VOD as well, but I just want to hear your insight on it.
Okay.
Just explaining why.
Okay. Same thing here. Triple Worm Guard is really fucking sketchy. This is probably one of the hardest trash pulls in here. You should have your Fury Warriors in tanky gear in case they need to taunt. And you separate these, just like Destroyers. Now, you should pull them all the way back because a dragon patrols down here. You don't want to be caught in the dragon patrol and then pull a dragon. All of your tanks should be wearing Oni cloaks on this pull. Always. Just in case. I've seen it happen where the boss pulls. It's rare, but you can salvage it. If nobody's DPSing the boss, one guy can tank it. It's not that hard of a boss. So just keep that in mind. If the boss pulls, it's not a death.
For these guys or no?
Yes, you need a goalie. You need 2 goalies for this. All of your tanks are ready. You have 3 main tanks and 2 goalies on this. You can see these mobs. I could talk about these mobs a lot, but Windforce got spun, which means he does AoE damage around him. It's Giga. So main tank, or like tanks need to be opposite side of melee always, and everybody should be fapping on these. All melee should be fapping running in. So they don't get caught in a whirlwind. People can die like that. You can see he's spinning and watch the raid frames. Did anybody get hit? Nobody's getting hit. It does like 2k damage a tick if you get hit by that.
Okay. So tanks randomly get CC'd with a spin that hurts
it can.
Teammates.
It's like dogs. They have random abilities. You don't know what they're going to do. There's a lot. You can look into them. Ebon Rock, super easy. This is the easiest boss in the dungeon. Does nothing. You can literally kill him with one tank if you wanted to. It would take forever, but you could do it. So the mechanic is the same as Fire Maw. There's wing buffets, but now instead of having to worry about debuffs on the raid, it's just a healing debuff on the tanks. So the way you deal with it is having 2 tanks rotating, or I guess 3 tanks, whatever. You're pretty much spamming taunts. The tanks are just spamming taunts. That's the best explanation you can do. You're spamming taunts whenever you get the debuff. Shadow of Rock on Ampy. Who's going to taunt? Somebody. Hellspawn has it. So then Hellspawn tanks it until he gets the debuff, and then Windforce is going to taunt it, or me. Okay. So that's kind of how it works. You're just rotating tanks. Yeah. And you're calling out who's tanking, who's taunting as the raid leader. Should be like, okay, debuff, Hellspawn taunt. Okay. I'll taunt next. It's on Ampy. It's on Windforce.
And just don't face the raid because he one-shots with the breath.
Yeah. And say, yeah, be careful on threat here. On these dragons, make sure to never drop a dummy behind them as well. That'll totally fuck the fight. Flame Gore is the exact same as Ebon Rock, but he has a different ability. He does Enrage. And when he enrages, he does AoE damage. So you just trank instantly. But this is exactly the same as Fire Maw. You one tank it with one buffet tank. That's it. Just trank, tank it, and call wing buffets 5 seconds before. Taunt. He keeps it. He gets knocked back. It's back on you. Boom. That's great.
Off tank just eats the wing buffet. Main tank eats it again. And he does what else? Enrage?
He enrages, but you trank. Yep. It's super easy. If you have 3 hunters, it should never be an issue. You just call tranks. You just have them literally do it themselves. Just be like, one guy, okay, K-Super trank, PHX trank, Peter trank. You actually see somebody accidentally taunted the boss here and almost...
Oh my god.
You can see this. Look at this.
Oh my dude.
That slams.
Yeah. I would get a heart attack.
So yeah, same thing here. It's another triple dragon. Repeating, like you can see, once you learn the trash pack once, you're like, oh, you just do it again. So same thing. I like doing the door strat here. I feel like it's pretty comfy. So what I did there is I got a pre-summon to the front. I clicked this, instantly accepted summon. And that's because the dog runs out pretty quick here. This is Chromagus. He's a pretty big pull radius. So he aggroes pretty quick and you don't want to be caught up there. Demo shot's important. You're wearing your Broodlord set, very tanky set here. And let me just do a quick little so there's 2 areas. This is like the biggest thing you need to know. Okay. So, your raid is standing here. All of your raid is right here. All of your casters, all of your hunters. And there is a breath. This boss is going to breathe. It's going to be tanked like right here-ish. And let's look at his LOS. So, LOS is something like this. This is pretty terrible, but you kind of get the idea. I'm trying to be quick. So, he actually has a super long range, like he'll breath you if you're out here. So the only way you can hide from the breath is hiding just like Fire Maw. So you're hiding here. All these guys are just hiding. These are our healers. Your tank, your hunters will need to peek out sometimes when it's scary, when most of the raids should be hiding, but they need to trank every time he enrages. But now there is a little spot. This is why I drew this so randomly. There's a little spot right here. Okay, This is important for the off tanks. This is why I drew it. There's a spot right there, and you can see it. It's behind this pillar on the left. This is where your off tank will hide. This may not make sense right now, but this boss has a possible breath called time lapse, which basically freezes everybody that gets hit by it and suspends them in time. That means all their threat gets wiped for the duration, and the main tank always gets hit by it. So the way you counter it is by having a tank decently high on threat, hiding for every single breath. And if it's a time lapse, they're hiding here. If it's a time lapse, what do? They run it back to the front. They're very easy. The problem with hiding like here is the boss moves. So you want to hide in that little corner. Melee are actually behind here. This is their safe spot back here. And they're running in and out like this. When you call in and out, this dog breathes every 30 seconds on the dot, pretty much. You need to make sure nobody's auto-attacking, because this boss is a huge aggro or huge hitbox. You can actually auto him from the melee safe spot and the tank safe spot. So when people hide, you press escape twice. You clear your target.
Why is it important to not hit him?
When you are hitting a mob, even if it's LOS from you, you will be considered in LOS from it.
Okay.
So that means you'll get breathed from the safe spot. So, very important, call escape. Also assign some healers. I'd say healer and dispellers. So you'd want one priest, one shaman, maybe two shaman. And then put one healer with the main tank, or the off tank here. Everybody else is right here. Okay. That's Chromag. He breathes every 30 seconds. He hits hard. He enrages at 20% HP. Can be pretty fucking scary if you get a bad breath. Sometimes you might want to delay pushing the boss if it's like a time lapse is coming in like 10 seconds. You don't really want a time lapse in enrage. That's pretty sketchy.
Does it tell you what it's going to be?
You don't know until it happens. It's random.
I see time lapse on your screen.
Yeah, so we actually get a time lapse and an ignite fletch, which is okay. It's not the worst ones, but you see, Windforce was in the wrong spot. We learned this later. He was in the melee spot. So the boss moves a little bit. He turns it back. That's time lapse. That's it. As long as your entire raid, all DPS, by the way, do have to hide. Everybody eats time lapse, except for the healers and the off tanks. That's the only breath you eat. Everything else you don't eat. So second breath comes through. We get incinerated.
So time lapse happens. It's important that everyone eats it so that the off tank is top threat.
Right. Yeah.
Got it. And the healers, obviously.
Right. Yeah. Healers. Yep. So, yeah. It's not that hard. You can see Trank Shot comes out. It's not that scary. The Enrage is pretty scary. If he frenzies in the Enrage. Let's see it. There's actually a situation where we should have held DPS a little bit. So it turns on Windforce. He, I think he walled or something. Taking 0 damage. It's not a bad idea to wall this Enrage, if you feel scared. I last stand it. Here.
Ooh.
Yoink.
Nice.
So here, because we didn't have sands, this was our first Nef. We actually all logged out, or we all ticked our debuff. That boss, I didn't really mention it, but there's a mechanic where it spams debuffs on the raid the whole time. It just spams debuffs. It's super annoying. You have to decurse them. You have to dispel them. Disease cleanse, right? Cleansing totems are probably insane. I've never seen this on Horde, but that's cool. As for there's a bronze one.
Switch shamans around, the totems are crazy.
If you get bronze, the only way you can cleanse it is with an item that drops from trash, called an hourglass sand. So you want to split those between tanks, healers, and hunters first, and then the rest on everybody else, like one each, if you have that much. We're not going to have very many. So what you can do at the end is just tick it down. Just AFK for 15 minutes for the debuff.
What does the debuff do?
It spam stuns you for 15 minutes.
So just AFK for 15 minutes.
Yeah, kind of. If you don't have sands, it might be a good idea to do it even if you don't have much sands. You could do it, but it's like maybe you have to talk about Neff first anyways.
All right, we got to get Neff because I got to get out of here.
Yeah. Neff. So Neff, I'm a big fan of one side now. One side. So we're not going to split up. And this is where having like 20 cloaks is pretty important. So you have one side, this is the pillar, this is the gate with like the ramp down, and then this right here is the throne. Okay, this is the big wall. You can hide up here. This is your safe spot behind the throne. Right, this is your safe spot. It's a little squished. You get the idea. Basically, you're going to have even groups or something killing mobs right here. This is their kill spot. They're going to be coming from way down here. The way this boss works is you kill 40 trash mobs, and then you move to phase 2. So that's all you're doing. You're just sitting here and collecting mobs one by one, and you're just spam killing them in the little safe zone right here. You want to make sure they're dead pretty close together in this little red box. Same thing here. You want to kill them at the top of the stairs. This is important for later. So you want to kill them pretty tightly stacked. You don't want to leave a trail of bodies all here. You don't want to kill them like out here. Like you want them to be super stacked because you're going to have to kill them later again. And you want to AoE them. So you kill 40, your even groups, let's say 2, 4, 6, 8 are assigned bottom. That means 1, 3, 5, 7 are on this side. And you're just killing them. That's it. You just kill it. You heal. If somebody gets polymorphed, at the end of the fight, Neff will be around and there'll be mind controls. Oh yeah, Neff randomly will mind control somebody every like 20 seconds. You CC them. They hit really hard. So you CC them.
Randomly shadow bolts, right?
Yep, and he randomly shadow bolts. Yeah. He can also melee, actually. The Ghost of Nefarian can melee, so if you ever see that guy, you do not want to be standing next to him. See, that's him right there. That's Nefarian's ghost. So if you stood right next to him, you might get bonked. Don't do it. So there's a couple important numbers here. At 35 mobs killed, it'll show you on DBM. It'll say every time one dies, it'll be like, boom, 15 kills remaining. So this is at 5 kills remaining. Right? 35 out of 40. You need to be hiding if you do not have a cloak. That means maybe a little bit later, but that's safe. You want to be hiding. So that means that if we have 20 people with cloak, that means 20 people are hiding. That means we have to 20-man 5 more ads. So we're half power and we have to finish 5 more. But everybody has to go to their safe spot if you don't have a cloak. So you're running here instantly. You see 35, okay, 5 bombs remaining. Hide if you don't have a cloak. There we go. That's your phase 1. When you're at like 38, okay, so 2 mobs remaining, you're starting to move over here because you're going to be getting overrun. There's going to be a lot of mobs. Just from experience, I think our raid is going to have a lot of mobs left over here right at the end. So these guys are going to struggle to kill the last 5. And then after that, everybody, once the breath lands, we need a call for the breath to come out. Also important too, at 0 remaining on your final mob, you need to split the raid again. Okay. This means 2 healers and main tank. Honestly, yeah, this should be fine. 2 healers and then main tank, and then maybe assign healers to run over from the safe spot. But 2 healers is fine at the beginning. So these guys are running to pre-position the boss because at 0, the boss is coming down. So these guys are running over here. I don't know why that's the wrong marker. Anyways, they're running over here, and this will be your final position for the boss. There's a thing here you can use for reference. There's like a square like ruin thing. You want the boss tail to be like this, right? This is the tail. This is the boss, big dragon guy.
Got it.
And then this is his tail. It's a nice little rat. Now, his tail swipe is pretty fucking huge. You want to be away from that? His breath, pretty fucking huge. Okay, so that means when you're in phase 2, your safe spot as melee is right about, let's pick a better color, right about here. He also fears, by the way, tremors down. And he does random shit. Class calls, you can look into them. Hunters break their bows, mages get polymorphed, warlocks summon infernals, shamans summon totems. This is all for the boss. These are bad things. Warlocks get stuck in Zerker stance. Can be scary for the tank. Not usually. Put a shield on. Rogues get teleported to the front of the boss, by the way. And they can't move.
They just randomly die.
They can't move. For 30 seconds, they can't move. So if a rogue call happens, what you need to do, Soda, is wait for a breath to happen. Wait.
And then run through them.
Don't do that. Watch for a breath to happen. Before a breath happens, you are running not through the boss exactly, but not around the boss like this. That's going to tail swipe the raid.
Make it where it doesn't ever face the raid. So kind of through it, but not straight through it.
Right. You want to favor the bottom side, but you're flipping it. So that now the head is here. If that happens, people need to fucking move because I'm pretty sure the breath is wider than the tail swipe. So if people were not getting tail swiped, they might get breathed. So big no-no, people standing over here, people standing here, they're going to die if you're standing there. So you want the entire raid nice and juicy up here, right? Maybe a loose spread for Warlock stun. That's kind of what you want. This is your caster stack. You can outrange the fear. It's 40 yards.
How do we deal with, go through each call? So rogue call, we flip it. Warlock summons demons. What do we do?
Just kill them or banish.
You kill them. You only have a couple.
Okay. Mage call?
Mage call, you run them away. They go to Africa and they just go polymorph each other like little losers way over here.
So mages run away.
Yeah. And you spam dispel. You spam dispel in the tank. And other people. That's why you want a lot of priests. Priest call. Priest call is important to know too. Priest call makes your healing spells do damage to the people you heal. So I hope you guys don't have any bad priests in your raid. If they don't realize this, you will be getting killed. Corrupted blood.
They still use shield and renew, right?
They cannot use renew, but they can shield.
Okay, just shield. Okay.
Yeah. So priest call means priests are only dispelling and DPSing or shielding. Yeah. That's the class calls. Basically, this boss is just about class calls in this phase. Just class calls and tank. There's decurses on the tank that need to happen too. Your Resto Druid will probably do that. If you swap, your Resto Druid needs to swap for decurses. So he's either playing here or here, max range.
Okay. And he only does one call, or is it multiple per?
One call like every like 30 seconds.
Okay. And we
So he
should probably
spams
only
it.
see one, maybe two.
We'll probably see 4, 5.
Oh.
It happens pretty frequently. The boss has a lot of HP too. Like I think in this we probably get 3.
We're
You'll see.
probably not gonna have world buff by here too. So
Yeah, we should probably
All right.
drop another one.
All right. Well, I gotta get out of here. It's I gotta
One
go
sec,
watch
one sec.
something. Okay, last thing.
Last thing, this is all. We're almost done. I'm sorry to keep you late. When the ad happens, the ad transition, I think it's 30. It might be 40%. It might be 35%.
Oh yeah.
Something. All of these ads will revive, and then run at the healers. Okay. I know this looks a little fucking crazy. You want your off tanks to go AoE lip taunt. You do lip taunt rotation. AoE taunt 1, AoE taunt 2, and then everybody booms them. And the boss is done. If that happens and that's safe, you're done. Okay, that's all.
Okie dokie. All right. Ampy, I appreciate you finishing your laundry to help us out with this. Everyone, as you can see, BWL is a hell of a lot more complicated than MC. It's not meant for hardcore, but you know, here we are 20 years later doing this raid in hardcore. So study up if you don't remember anything. Savix and I will hopefully know everything and, you know, go over it all when we actually get there, especially for the people that aren't going to study because they don't want fucking spoilers. But make sure you get your world buffs, come prepared, get your consumes, and
I didn't even finish the laundry.
Full BWL clear. GG's, everyone.
GG.
I'll see y'all on
man.
Saturday. All right, later.
Thank you.
Yo, Ampy, thank you very much for the rundown.
Yep, of course. I forgot to mention, by the way,
Professor.
people should bring... Casters should get holy water if they're not engineers. Even if they're engineers, holy water does giga damage to those skeletons in the last phase. It helps a lot to kill them really quick.
And you mentioned percentages. It happens at 20%. Once you push 20%, the ads come out.
Is it that low?
Yeah,
It's the same as execute.
It's
Okay.
20%.
Okay.
Wait, Ampy, you're saying you'd be surprised if nobody dies, right?
I would be very surprised if nobody dies, even with this.
Oh gosh.
Count
I
your
mean, raid
days,
1 will have
champions.
0 deaths, but you know, AO 7.
How many deaths do you think will happen in each group?
I think we'll have 3 deaths and you'll have 8 deaths.
Wait, why do I have
Holy-
8 deaths?
Or a full wipe, right? Who knows? We'll see what happens, right?
Why are we getting 8 deaths?
Oh my.
Oh my goodness.
Curious
Just
on
'cause you said
F
that, I'm
is
gonna
just
study
mage call, right?
extra.
Because you
I'm
could
staying
get
after school.
you could get a split second poly into
Yeah.
Brief.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
20 people.
So you
are dead.
should, when you have mage call, priest needs to be spamming dispel on the main tank. Like literally, a healer needs to be assigned to that. Literally just spam dispel without nothing else. If they do nothing else but dispel once, they've done their job.
Will the mage call still like not? It'll only go off on mages when they outrange it, or does that not matter anymore?
I think it is a
In some
range.
cases, it doesn't matter. I could have sworn it was range 2, but I've heard also that it doesn't matter and that it'll just randomly follow people. Even
Yeah.
if they're like in Africa.
It might.
Yeah, spam dispel. I can pray. Hopefully, he's not casting a breath when it goes out. That's all.
Even if it doesn't matter, fuck them. Send the mages to Africa. They can go polymorph themselves.
Shaman class call on Horde. I don't know if you've done it, but it's also scary because it drops wind.
Yeah, the wind fairies. You have to kill the totems, right?
Yeah. But at Fire Nova is only like 800 AoE. The most important is to kill Wind Fury insta.
Yeah, and then probably wear shield for shaman class call.
Ampy, is there a video I could watch for the goblin tech thingy?
Yeah,
Just
for
dead
sure.
zone kiting basically.
Yeah, you can. I'm sure somebody has
Also,
a guide on that.
You can use grenades from engineering to stun them to interrupt casts.
Oh, that's true. I remember now.
You can also, I think you mentioned this, Zombie, the fire resist tank. You can kind of just like sit there and laugh, essentially, as a fire resist tank.
Well, you should run around in a circle still, but you just spam demo shout with. You just place. You're basically playing a mage, but instead of using arcane explosion, you're using demo shout.
Demo shouting.
And it's way worse threat, but it works.
Would you recommend that or the mage? Probably the mage, right?
Warrior is safer if you're killing technicians last.
Just send Zico, bro.
I would send the mage.
Bro, I don't want Zico to die.
He's not gonna die, Savix.
Okay,
Come
okay.
on, Matt. Yeah.
All right.
Nah, he's dead, but that's okay. 07, you know, he's let him do his duty. This is what he loves. He's here to do this.
Man,
Let
come
him
on.
do it.
He got
He
this
could go
shit.
out like this and go play League of Legends freely then.
Yeah, he just wants to hit. He wants to hit gold. Like, let him hit gold.
Alright.
Dude, he's up.
Wait, he's still not gold? There's no way.
He probably is. I actually don't know.
That's fucking crazy, actually.
I'm actually just being toxic. I'm sorry.
Alright.
It's only softcore you kill technicians first, right?
This is the mage. This. Let's see. I don't know how good this guy is.
Okay, let me see.
What the fuck is he doing?
Oh, he gets aggro and then just fucking runs them away from the group.
This is not what you do.
That's kind of monka giga right there. I wouldn't do that. This
Professor
is
MP, can I ask a question, please?
What's up?
How many flasks do we need?
I would bring 3 if we're doing MC after.
3.
We're doing 3 raids.
There wasn't gonna be MC, I think it said.
No?
They said only BWL at the start of the draft this week.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Sarah says.
I
So
mean,
it's
we
gonna be
might
the BWL.
scramble together an MC on Monday or something.
Yeah,
but,
probably Monday.
but they were not gonna.
I'll do an MC. I'm not missing out on ID.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
done.
but
Yo,
he just said that they're not drafting for MC.
So look,
and only after.
look at this.
Maybe
Look
we
at
should
this,
try
Savix.
to do one on Friday and Monday. I'm watching.
MP can make a raid sign or
I mean,
something.
I would be.
So,
We could do.
this is the technicians. Basically, your mage is just pulling like this. I don't know why you did a backtrack, but once you're at this point, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're just running around in a circle like this. I don't know.
Gotcha.
He's kind of being dumb. I don't know what he's doing. He's like
Savix,
turning
you
around.
try to ship out?
But this is what you're supposed to do right here. Yeah.
Okay.
It's literally it's Zico. I mean, just tell him he's like AoEing a warrior in Nova. Like,
For a hunter in dead zone.
yeah.
That's the range you wanna be at.
Okay. Yeah, that video made it seem like it's not that hard. Okay.
It's not hard.
The only thing is you can't run into a wall, so you stand still, because then you go poof.
It's not hard, it's
Gotcha.
just punishing. That's what most of this raid is.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very punishing.
Yeah, exactly.
100%,
Got
bro.
it.
Professor, I have a question.
Okay. Hello.
Hello. I'm just gonna rip the band-aid, but which boss do you think we're gonna struggle with?
Brood, Firemo. Those are the 2 dangerous one, I think.
Brood, Comargus.
No, Chromig is not dangerous. I don't think. I think it's Neff, Firemo, and Brood.
Ah, Neff too?
Neff is up there.
mean,
I think Broodlord. I think Broodlord has the most moving pieces and has the most chance of one-shotting people. Firemaw has the most chance of wiping us, and Neff has the second highest chance of wiping us, and it's pretty close.
Holy
Also, just
fuck.
because Neff is such a long fight compared to the other ones.
Do we have like a
Neff?
calculation of
Neff?
of percentage of how much we're actually gonna die in those bosses?
No, I don't know. But Neff can go wrong really quickly. Like what Zeroji was saying earlier, like what happens if your tank is dispelled while it's breathing, it turns and it kills 18 people. Do you finish the fight?
Shit.
It can happen at any moment. You can just get super unlucky.
I feel like
Right.
I think you need to give cloaks to healers,
You
basically.
do. Yeah, I think you do too. Healers are pretty consistent raid to raid as well, so it would not be a
At
bad
least
idea.
You can sacrifice. Could get people out in worst case by sacrificing few with cloaks.
It's a pre-portal angle.
I think you can finish the fight if you have 20 people up. What's
I've
up?
been holding my piss, teacher. Can I go pee?
Yeah, you may.
Retain.
Yo, I've been holding for like 2 hours.
No water bottle? Are you even a gamer, bro? What the hell?
I don't want to pee on stream.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything else we should go over, or was that kind of everything?
Sure to wash
That's.
your hands.
I feel like I went over most things. I didn't go over specific assignments, but you're gonna want some sort of assignment sheet. It'll help you a lot as the raid leader, but also it'll help your raid because there's a lot of different
Yeah, PUB.
jobs.
Weird to place Hunter Pet, because I think Screech is too important on Veil if we're gonna
No, don't. It's not scary. Just place it farther back than the melee. on their
I mean,
side.
it can just die to tail wipe anywhere. It doesn't matter. Right?
Yeah, that too.
It doesn't get knocked away. It'll just die from it, but it'll be Screech for the first
If it's
recklessness. Anyway.
if it's towards the back, it's not going to cleave anyways. You just don't want to send it in from like a weird angle.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's just want to have Screech for recklessness part.
I agree. I think that's really good.
10% damage is too much.
Screech on Broodlord really important too.
Yeah, but that should be 100% uptime if it gets one heal or like one renew from blast waves.
Yeah, no, I don't really have anything else. I kind of went over. Yeah, I think it's just fine tuning. Any questions that you have, feel free to message me. I mean, I can answer whatever. Try to look into things.
Is Demo Shout Warrior still important for this raid?
Demo Shout is really important.
It's basically the most important.
T-Clap, the Thunderclap could be really important too because, like Broodlord, Chromag, Neff, you probably want Thunderclap on.
What about
and Veil, possibly.
What about
oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, what about Hurricane?
Okay.
Actually, no.
I mean, if we have one druid, I think it's not worth.
I guess
this is Hellspawn.
I don't think the tank can do it.
This is Hellspawn, by the way. This is how fast you can die on this fight. So, it turns. Threat went to Reshi. He was top threat. He pumped too hard. Reshi presses lip. It turns to Hellspawn. And then it kills him.
He was at like 7.9 to 0 right there, pretty much.
Yeah. That's just an auto attack mortal strike. Tier 1 geared tank, 70% HP to dead. That's how fast it is. That's why it's really important people put shields on. It's really important you last stand if you have threat instantly, and you need to have Stone Shield. I think he Mighty Rage Pod or something.
Oh, he doesn't have Stone Shield there at least.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't have Shield, Stone Shield, or Last Stand, which is why he died. But that's why it's so important to do those things.
Also no inspiration, right? So
yeah,
like no improved lay on hands.
He has buffs that we won't have. He has Zanza up, which is a lot of stam. He has ZG buff, and then of course like Alliance buffs too.
I mean,
if he's more HP.
If you look at how much HP he has versus how much I have, 9k HP fully buffed in our raids. Like he has 1.4k more HP than me, fully buffed.
Yeah.
So it's pretty scary. That's like if I was at 80%, 90%. 80-ish.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm. You guys don't have to add. Just.
Oh.
What's your question?
Just in your opinion, for a warrior to have improved demo, does he have to Thunderclap as well, or give it two different warriors, Thunderclap and demo?
You can, if it's a Fury DPS warrior, you can have them do both, but I would not put a Fury prot tank on T-Clap.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just asking for a friend.
Yeah. That's good.
All right. Well, Beat, thank you very much. If I have any question, can I shoot you a message?
Of course. Yeah. Always.
All right. Awesome. Yo, thank you. I'm going to go now.
Yeah. Good luck out there, man.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
We don't have marbles or anything on board, right?
Thank you, MP. Thanks, Fred.
Yeah, no marbles.
Thank you.
We just get the skull, Zinshasa's skull. Use it if you're about to die, guys. Big boom.
So, where do I get my certificate of graduating this class?
That was BWL 101. Your next course is going to be... actually, you're good. Yeah.
If you walk out of BWL alive, you fast.
Yeah, we'll see you. It'll be on Monday.
Oh, yeah. Do we go farm?
For RP reasons, do I get like a little certificate and then get a stamp of approval after I made
the certificate is if you get any gear.
Based.
Do we go farm whale of the banshees?
I actually have one. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I should use it on
12 each.
I should use it on Broodlord. It's like a baby marbles, 10% reduced hit chance.
12%.
Oh,
12.
Okay. Wait, you can get those from Stratholm too.
Yeah, it's from Strat.
The ghost lady.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, it's worth. You should, if you have it, you should use it.
Cooldown, so it's recharges actually.
unique?
So
It recharges.
Oh, it's actually 10. It's 10 for 12. No, there's 3 charges on it.
Oh, 3.
Cooldown.
Yeah. So Broodlord is probably the biggest target. I don't think I would use it outside of Broodlord. The melees aren't that scary, unlike Chromag or Nav or.
Fear and Rage, I think.
Even then, Chromag isn't that scary.
Dang.
Chromag honestly is scary if you're dual wielding through Enrage. If you put a shield on, it's cozy. Especially if you have world buffs and like demo shout and stuff.
We're not gonna have ward buffs when we're
honestly
Chromag.
We should rebuff.
We should rebuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it would make sense to continue without. We shouldn't take 2 hours. I'm gonna be honest. I've done BWL before, a lot. I don't see how it takes 2 hours to get from here to there. Like, there's only so many trash pulls. You'd have to take like 10 to 15 minutes per trash pull to get there.
Yeah,
it was pretty short of a dungeon if you actually break it down.
Yeah, 100%. But I think it depends on like how long the explanations before the bosses.
That's true. How long like suppression room and everything takes.
Yeah.
Is it Fell Hunter Dispel for Chromagus too?
No.
Stay Phase Shift Imp then.
Yeah, or Sacrifice. I don't know what spec.
I play SM Ruin in red.
Bosses are immune to frost guards, right? Surely.
I don't think so. Isn't that the weapon?
25%. Yeah, it's a 25% attack speed slow for 5 seconds. I don't know the proc rate.
Isn't Imp Thunderclap 25 as well?
No, improved Thunderclap doesn't change anything. It's just threat, isn't it? Or like rage cost.
Oh, it might just be rage in this.
It's only 10 and it's just duration with high levels. It's really terrible. Yeah, it's only reduced cost by 3. There's Antizul. I don't want. There's no way Antizul's mace stacks with Thunderclap, right? But that's 11%, but there's like no way it actually stacks. But I don't think it was tested.
I don't think so. You know the crystal spider dagger that drops in LBRS?
Yeah.
It's like a thunderclap solo target. It doesn't stack either.
Yeah, I'm not expecting to, but there are some weird cases in Classic, for example. Annihilator stacks, but not Riven Spike.
That's weird as fuck.
Riven Spike is same debuff as Verify, but Annihilator its own debuff.
Well, GG's, thanks for taking the time out to explain shit, Ampy.
Of course.
I'll see you there on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you a lot, man.
Yep.
See ya.
Get ready, guys. Come with the GG's.
Yeah, for sure. GG's.
Do you think getting 315 fire res is good on DPS for Fireman?
No, I don't think we need it. Just hide.
I mean, at least on Hunter, it's only equip Dragon Scale boots and legs.
I mean, if you have like an efficient fire res set, definitely, but like casters and melee, I don't think it's worth.
Casters, it's not really. I mean, on melee, I mean, if they're playing 3 Black Dragon Scales, it's pretty easy to get it as well. I give the DPS are playing triple Black Dragon Scale set.
Yeah, I guess.
Because we're crafting boots now. They're getting Sunglitters honored to be able to craft the boots.
The plate boots?
No, mail boots. Zoom kids can make the plate, like Dark Iron, which is stamp fires.
Oh, I need one of those. What is it called? Dark Iron?
Yeah, Dark Iron boots.
Oh, it's a random enchant, bro.
Oh.
Wait, is it in the game, really?
Random. I think so. Zoomkins has it. You're on PvP server, right? Just check on auction house if they're sold. They'll be sold on PvP server currently if they are up. You sure there's no random enchant crafting though?
Really?
I mean, outside of the leatherworking wildvine, I don't think so. That'd be crazy.
That's what it says on Wowhead.
Yeah, maybe it does. Oh, gonna be fun when you get when you roll a whale boot then.
Yeah.
Like a tiger one, no stem.
There's no Dark Iron boots in the auction house. Only bracers and leggings.
Oh, maybe the boots aren't in it. Well, they were coming in BWL though. There was like that patch what was included, or the blue post what was gonna be included.
Oh, phase 3.
Find. Yeah, I need to find what it said.
It's exalted. There's no way he's exalted.
No. He could make something, he said though.
Probably bracers.
Nope, the only thing that counts from Dark Iron seems to be Blackguard and Enchanted Weapon Strength. But this area of some rewards where it lists out a bunch, and it doesn't list that. Oh, the Agi comes out. I wonder if we have anyone with 5th Honored Timbermaw.
Oh, that would be nice. I'm a 15 Agi enjoyer. Alright guys, I'm gonna hop off. Good luck. Okay, chat. We are done with our little BWL coaching session. Liz offline for 10 months. Yeah, she's not a gamer anymore. GG. GG. She actually, it's kind of funny. Liz lost her account. She like changed the email on her account And like changed the password and forgot what she changed her password to, or maybe she mistyped it or something. She can't log in anymore. She doesn't know why. And she has to do like support tickets, but every time she's done a ticket, they just haven't responded, which is kind of funny. It's also fucked up. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. Reach out to Artemis. Guys, Artemis isn't just like, you shouldn't go to her because you have a ticket, you know? So, what should we do? Oni dropping? Anno? Warcraft 3? WoW? Hardcore WoW? Dude, I am pooped. I am pooped, guys. Is that what it's like having a real job? I've been working for 2 hours teaching these losers how to do BWL, and I'm pooped. Squawk is doing BWL. I'm doing it on Monday. Yeah, I'm not racing. I'm checked out on the PvP server. I was thinking about this. Guys, the lack of GDKP makes me sad. That's all it is. It's not that I think the game is unplayable. It's just that what I want to do in the game is GDKP. And I can't really explain why. I like collecting things. And gold is a very easy collectible. It's a very low-hanging fruit. So it motivates me to play. It motivates me to play, and I can use it to buy gear. So I don't have to worry about consumables. I don't have to worry about anything. I just get the bonus from raiding. I get my gear, and I get my collectible. All in one. Something weird is going on with your YouTube stream. Oh, man. I got you, but the gold buying in Classic was insane. Something had to be done. Do you guys think gold buying is worse or better now? I think it's worse. I think the community now buys gold, but instead of buying gold to buy gear, they're buying gold so they could buy the consumes so they can get the gear. It's not better, I could tell you fucking that. Like, I don't think it's better at all. So, there's Oni buff. How is that worse? It's way better, dude. You're tripping. So you're telling me if I go to the auction house right now and I want to buy a flask of the Titans for my BWL raid on Monday, that I should be paying 400 gold for that? You're telling me it's worth 400 gold for one flask? You're telling me that's better than it was when GDKP was in? You don't understand, kinda. They were 69 gold earlier. Stop trolling. Not on this server. Now people can't spend gold in GDKPs, so consumables is the new highest currency. Yes. Yeah. No, it is. You're right. But what about, like, now what? So now, because there's no GDKPs, consumables are really high. People are spending all their gold, so they're willing to buy super high prices. Oh, great. So now I have to farm a fuck ton of gold just to afford to raid? That's why they're more expensive. Yeah, okay. I just don't think you know, I just don't think that it did anything good. I don't think that it's, look, I'm going to be honest. I don't think that the GDKP ban has stopped what it was intended to do. I also want to play the game without playing the game. No, I just don't want to do the peasant work. I want to raid. That's the thing. And I should be able to do that. I should be able to do that and not be, you know, stuck farming gold because I can't afford things. It didn't do what it wanted to do. I. GDKP made you be on our peasant level now. What? It's a game you always have to farm gold, dude, if you want to get the top consumables. Or you could farm raids if GDKP's in. And I'm going to be honest, guys. You guys can tell me how you like to play the game, but you can't tell me how I like to play the game. That's how it is. I would rather raid and get gold from raiding to afford the things that I do than not raid so I can afford to raid. And that's the simple truth. And the fact that Lizard banned my style of the game, what I enjoy doing in the game, I think that that's really shitty because the ban wasn't targeted at cheaters. The ban wasn't targeted at bots. The ban was targeted at a loot system. Think about this, guys. They didn't ban... Look, imagine if it was real life and people were just out there killing each other with fucking machetes, okay? And then the government said, oh, well, guess what? We're making it illegal to make machetes. What? What do you mean? Like, that's not how you do it. They're doing the wrong thing. They're like banning a thing that facilitated the thing that's a problem. They should have just banned gold buying, but they're too fucking pussy to ban their player base, so they enable cheating. And they should just ban bots, but they don't want to dedicate resources to development to anti-bot strategies. Bro, that's exactly what you do. You kill the source. You think that's working? You think that's working? So you're telling me, in this hypothetical situation, the source, are you kidding me? Fredden, you're saying that all you have to do to get rid of it is to get rid of the source. What about the current supply? But it's what about that? You're not going to do anything about the current supply, so they're just going to keep running around murdering people? No, obviously not, right? So you don't, yeah, right. You're saying, what you're saying is just ignorant. It's the first step, but they're not doing follow-up. That's the whole problem. They banned the GDKP, but did nothing. The bots are out of control. Gold buying is out of control. It's never been addressed. They just put the fucking Band-Aid on. You're banned. Respectfully, you're banned. There is more ice. I'm telling you guys, it's terrible. It's not enjoyable. The fact that, you know, like, you guys can sit in your own little fucking happy bubble and smile to yourself in the mirror while all these fucking bots are running rampant and gold buying is just as bad as it was, and keep telling yourself that the GDKP ban is done anything except for make people that want to do GDKPs not play the game. That's all it is. So, gold buying is even worse now than it was. I know. I'm telling you guys, because it's impossible to fucking raid on more than one character. You're just going to sit there and farm gold all the time so that you can raid now. It's miserable. People don't want to do that. They'd rather raid. Surely flats are 500 gold because people are farming so much gold, not the bots, right? I don't think you've ever had an L take for real. True. I do remember when all the anti-GDKP SOD enjoyers. Shout out to Reddit. Shout out to Reddit right now. You guys got what you wanted. The Omega land with no GDKPs. This is what you wanted. 350 gold flask, 1,000 gold payroll for one raid. This is what you wanted. Rampant, uncontrolled botting. Nobody cares about it. Who enforces it? What is the consequence? Of what? Cheating in the video game? That's Blizzard's job. If Blizzard gave a fuck who enforces it, what is the consequence of GDKP? You get banned. No, you get banned. People right-click your name if you advertise GDKP or if you run a GDKP. If you're caught doing a GDKP, you will get banned. Like, I think it's more likely, I think what Voss is saying is true. I think it's more likely for you to get banned advertising a GDKP than you buying gold at this point. And I think that that is crazy, by the way. The fact that gold buying in World of Warcraft is so widely accepted and even encouraged by Blizzard's decision making, they don't care. So why should they be banning GDKP? It's so annoying, bro. Like, they obviously don't give a fuck that people buy gold. And why should they, right? But they shouldn't take a stance on it as if it was bad and then not enforce it as it being bad. It's so fucking two-faced, bro. Like, Blizzard just sits back, bro. People buy gold all the time. They talk about it. It's whatever. People transfer gold from Cataclysm where they bought gold and they paid Blizzard for the gold, and they're transferring gold from retail where they bought the gold. It's so fucking wishy-washy that they shouldn't even fucking care. Like, just ban the bots and allow GDKP. Who do you think is selling the gold? It's John Blizzard himself. True. No, I don't think so. How much gold have you bought? I don't buy gold. We need a tank for BWL. Join us. No. The problem, though, with me not wanting to buy gold is I don't want to play a Night Slayer. That's the consequence. I am in a position, and I can tell you guys this is the position I'm in because I'm in it. I'm in a position on Night Slayer PvP where I don't want to play. I don't want to log in to farm consumables because there's no end game for me. I'm not that interested in the long term. Like, I don't care about my BWL gear. I don't care about this. I'm in it for TBC. Streaming YouTube is extremely spiky. Fantastic, bro. I love my internet. Anyways, I'm in a position where I don't want to log in to farm gold, but I don't buy gold. Like, I can't play the fucking game. I have to do something that I don't want to do to play. And it's just so lame that that's the position that I've been put in by Blizzard themselves in their video game. It's so ridiculous, bro. You speak of WoW and Blizzard as politics. WoW is a game that makes the company money. It's that simple. As soon as the game stops generating money, they don't care. You're right. They're selling a product. They're selling a product, Starfalix. The video game is their product. Now, let's change this around. If you bought fucking toilet paper from some random toilet paper company and it came out and it was sandpaper when it got to you, it's sandpaper. Do they not have an obligation to improve their product at the risk of losing their customer? There's obviously some level of responsibility to providing at least a reasonable product. So you can talk about it like, oh, all they have to do is make money, but the idea is that they're deteriorating the game with decisions they're making. And also, video games are on they get people addicted, so it's kind of fucked up that Blizzard can just do whatever the fuck they want, not care about the game, and it's fucked up. I think there should honestly be some legislation around video games. If you get the people addicted, you have to at least continue the game. You have to keep making good decisions. Come on, Blizzard, this is fucked up. You need more resources to this. I'm addicted. Audio is fine, but it's lagging. I'll just turn the YouTube stream off, bro. I don't care. I am so tilted with this internet. I can't do anything. I can't do anything, man. Like, literally, I've called my ISP 10 fucking times in the last month. It's like I'm on a first name basis with the fucking random like people at their call center. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, hey, Jerry, back again with more ISP problems. Yeah, my stream shut off today again. Oh, yeah, no big deal. Let's just fix that, please. Like, are you serious? So we did a recent change, and I'm using my own router, but I guess something is fucking happening. And now my YouTube stream is bad. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Why is my YouTube stream bad now? After changing my internet. I switched routers and now my YouTube stream is scuffed, but my Twitch stream is fine. But my Twitch stream used to be worse and now my YouTube stream was worse. And my YouTube stream is better. So now it's just like, I flipped it. I don't know. It could be a YouTube problem. I don't think so, Jasmine. I don't think so. I mean, it just so happened to be that I changed my internet, and the next 2 days, I've had YouTube problems, YouTube stream problems, both days after doing my internet changes. I doubt that it's a YouTube problem. I mean, well, okay, it's a YouTube problem. No, it is a YouTube problem, but I don't think that it's on their end. I think it's my side connecting to YouTube is the bad part.